Right, this week we've managed to get a little bit done, but due to the heat, mainly in here, we were struggling. What have we got? We've got a little bit on the blue stag, um, white TR, and engine update for the green TR7 V8. So we'll get into it. Right at the beginning of the week, I got the um, white TR7 on the lift and done the few final little jobs on it and demolded the interior and things like that. So that was because that was leaving us on Saturday. It's gone now, so we've got some pictures of that before leaving and a little video of it driving away. So we'll put them in the video as always. So because the owner dropped off, he bought up the new wheels and tires when he collected it, so we fitted them while he was here, and plus it was on the lift, so we could have a look at everything that's been done. And that little white TR7, it drove absolutely perfectly for well over 3 hours, all the way back down to Southampton. So in very high temperatures. So that was good, and the car is also completely standard. There's no modifications to the cooling system or anything like that. It's completely original. So overheating TR7s, not when they're right, no. So that was that one. And then obviously we had the real heat kick in, and in this building it's actually made of metal, although the roof's insulated. It doesn't really help a great deal, and at times, especially in the afternoons, it was mid 40s in here, and it was just unbearable. In places it was getting up towards 47 degrees, in different parts of the unit, sort of more towards the workbenches because the roof's lower. So the roof was just acting like a big radiator. So it was pretty much unbearable. It was actually cooler out in the sun doing some jobs at odds and ends. So I've done a few little jobs on the SD1 as they needed doing as well. Then we got on with the fuel system on the Blue Stag. So the fuel tank was out and washed. So we got it all cleaned out, made sure it was as good as it could be, and it's nice and clean inside. And we got that refitted. We got the fuel filler cap working, as the lock barrel had got a couple of sticky pins in it, and the key wouldn't actually activate it. So a bit of lubrication, a bit of perseverance. We got the fuel filler working as it should do. Refitted all that, put some fuel in it, and it's now running on its own fuel system, which is a major step forward for it. So next week, Dad's coming back in. He was off this week. Again, he wanted to get on with some of his own stuff, and the heat. He's 60 now, so he struggles with that, with heat and things like that. So he wouldn't be able to cope in here at all. So yeah, he was off last week. So he'll be in on Monday, and he'll be getting on, putting the suspension off this, and starting to rebush it and clean and paint all the suspension, and we'll be cracking on getting that sorted out. The only good thing about this heat we've been having, especially in this unit, is it's pretty much baked to EWK. So EWK has basically been sat in an oven for the last week. So that'll give us a real solid base to work on now. So that will really help us out with the paint process on that, and it's going to make it an even better job again. So by the time we block that down, that'll be rock hard. It won't sink or drop or do anything that you don't want it to do. It'll be absolutely perfect. So we've mentioned the SD1. We'll go into the engine room and we'll show you the engine that we've got back for the green TR7 V8, which is what I'm on next week. Right, we're in our engine room. It's not quite finished yet, just haven't had time to get on it. so we've still got to put some slightly better lighting up and get some stainless steel workbenches around the edges and things like that. But we can function with it at the moment. So this is the engine block back from the machine shop for the green TR7 V8. So this is what I'm on next week. So starting Monday, I will be doing all the clearances. I'll do checking all the piston ring gaps, get the crankshaft cleaned, and just do a dummy build with the crank, and check the bearing clearances, etc., as we always do on all of our engines, and starting to get this thing built up. So if anyone remembers, this had a melted piston, which obviously really not good. So we had to have it bored out to plus 20. The damage luckily in the board come out at plus 20, which is brilliant. So we've got brand new pistons at 9.75 to 1 instead of the 8.35 to 1, which what it was. So that's going to give it a bit more performance, which will help out with the camshaft that we've picked for it, because we've got it's just here. Hold on. That's the one. So we've got Newman's Fast Road Tarmac Rally Sprint cam for it, which that will go in there nicely. We've also got brand new followers for it, so they're in the other box over there. We've also got most of the all the new parts apart from one. I've got to order that on Monday, which we're going to order a Piper cams, vernier cam wheel, and duplex chain set for it. So we've got all the gaskets and seals in here, new piston rings. We've got some good high quality bearings. So I want to talk about them ones in a minute. Right, we've got Glyco main bearings. So Glyco part of AE, etc. So pretty much what it had from the factory on standard size, as the engine is all on standard sizes, apart from the bores. And then we got King big end bearings. Now, a lot of people slate King, and they have no reason to slate King bearings. The reason that people slate King is because there's a lot of fakes out there. Now, what I mean by fakes is there's county bearings which we will not fit to any of our engines. They are utter crap, and the county bearings I've seen county bearings are coming in King boxes, and the boxes are actually slightly different to this. I haven't actually got one, because we don't buy them. The ones that come in the county box very often slightly different design box, and they haven't got any of these logos on them, and they also don't have the hologram on them. So the way to tell is obviously take them out the box and check. So always do that anyway. Make sure there's not been boxed wrong, so you've got the right size. So take them out the box, and you will see on the King bearings, if I can just find it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up through the wrapper. I'll show it better when I'm actually putting these in the engine. On the King logo, on the King bearings, you'll have a big King logo stamp on the bearing and not county. So these are Pucker King. So we actually get them direct from King, so we know we're getting the good ones, not the cheap knockoff copies. And these are actually up to aviation standard. So they're good enough for an airplane engine. They're definitely good enough for a road car engine. So even says it on the box. Hang on. There we go. We've got OE quality. We've got aviation standard and advanced QA system. Not sure what that one is, but so the OE quality and up to aviation standard. So you're not going to go wrong with them. So we've also got all the new pistons fitted to the rods. They just need a final clean and lubricate all the gudgeon pins properly before fitting. Obviously, we've got to file fit the rings to the bores first. So the block was also skimmed slightly. Didn't have to have a lot off of it to get it flat. I think I had about 5 thou off of it to get it flat, which is not a great deal. The heads had to have a little bit more. They were somewhere in the realms of 10 thou that had come off them to get them flat. They're there, all decoked. They're wrapped up. They're completely clean. Just got a final wash before assembly, so we've got to refit all the valves, check valve heights. So on the Rover V8s, you've got hydraulic followers, so you need the valves all within a couple of thou of each other height wise when they're installed. Otherwise, you're going to throw your preloads all over the place, and that's not good. So when we fit the valves, and if necessary, if it's only a little bit out, you can take a tiniest bit off the top of the valve if you've got one that's slightly too long, because sometimes the valves do vary in length. If not, it's a case of recutting your valve seats so they're all the same height. Again, not a big deal to do. But then you've then got to worry about your installed spring length. Make sure your springs are in the right range for the camshaft that you're running. So it's engine building. It's all basic stuff, but it takes a bit of time. But next week I'm on this straight away, Monday. So first job's going to be go through it all and tap out every single thread on the block. Then, because it's already been mostly cleaned, it hasn't had its final wash yet, but it is clean. That's when I'll do piston ring end gaps, and I'll do dummy build on the crank and do the crank bearing to journal clearances. Then it can have its final wash and start being assembled. So that's where we're up to on that. I don't think we've got much else this week. We've also got a Mark 1 GT6 coming in next Saturday. I think 4th. It's coming on the 4th. I think that's next Saturday. And that's coming in because it's had a wiring fire, unfortunately. What's caused the wiring fire, I don't know at the moment. The owner didn't say what's caused it. He's had a loom out of it, which there was nothing left of it. It was completely frazzled. I believe there was a fair amount of damage to the vehicle. So he's had it all out, and it's now at the point where everything's repaired, but it needs a new loom put in it. He's got the loom, but he obviously wants it fitting properly so it doesn't happen again. And he also everything needs going to be checking, as if he's not sure what caused the fire, last thing we want to do is install the loom and it's an issue somewhere with one of the components on the car and it does it again. So every electrical item is going to have to be bench tested, make sure that that's all good, and then refitted to the car so we know everything is as it should be. I'm also going to recommend to him that we possibly fit a battery isolator just to give him a bit of peace of mind. So if he ever does get an issue again, he can literally kill the power on the whole vehicle. And, well, it'll potentially save it, but it shouldn't happen again, not with a new loom. And when we've checked everything, but it's just a safety precaution for him. So, we've got that coming in, on the 4th. The owner of the white TR7, he's also got another TR7 that he wants us to do some work on, but that's going to be in a couple of months' time. We've got to get some of the other cars sorted out and gone first. The gold SD1 will be coming in the next week or so, I would expect. I've still got to finish getting the engine sorted out for it, and then it can be brought in. So, yeah, we're always busy as normal. I think that's all we've got this week. I can't really think of anything else. Like I said, we've got plenty in the pipeline waiting to come in, and a lot of interesting stuff waiting to come in. So on that note, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.